Gene Cedron is obviously a real tough guy with a gun in his hand. Check out his Instagram post. I don't give a rat's ass. Ashley Durrett knows that all too well.
That he really doesn't care. He doesn't care who he hurts, what he does, because he knows he's going to get away with it.
And Ashley has the horrible bruises to prove it. Her face, arms, legs, her lips, teeth marks inside her mouth.
He would punch me in the stomach, hit me in the face, pull my hair, choke me, throw me into things, grab me by my arms.
Ashley was a virtual prisoner in her own home on Shell Rock Road in La Porte while she was pregnant with his baby. Her stomach punched so hard, it almost killed the baby growing inside her.
But I almost lost my daughter. Her quarters wrapped around her neck 4 times. The doctor doesn't know how she survived.
In June of 2018, Ashley finally made a plan to escape after Cedron allegedly punched her 5-year-old son. She had just brought home that new baby girl, Savannah, from the hospital.
She was days old, and my son wanted to see her and hold her, and he didn't want her around. And he hit my son's face and pushed me down.
The escape ended with a high-speed chase all the way to the La Porte Police Department headquarters.
He ran inside after me, yelling at me in the police station.
Cedron was charged with felony domestic violence. It was his second conviction for beating up a girl. In the weeks after, he was charged with violating protective orders 2 times. Then yet a new girlfriend accused Cedron of hitting her. In letters, Ashley pleaded for a maximum prison sentence of 10 years. But she says Kim Ogg's office ignored the letters from members of her family. Then she got a call from Ogg's office. They had given Cedron a deal.
And I was shopping for my daughter's diapers and food and all that stuff, and I just started crying. I was in the middle of Walmart crying, and I asked them, why didn't they not let me testify? Why didn't they let me tell my side?
Despite a criminal history that began back in Florida and the horror show that Ashley Durrett lived through, Kim Ogg's office agreed to just deferred adjudication, a promise Cedron would behave and history of his cowardly attacks on her would all be wiped away. A get-out-of-jail-free card.
I was so scared of what he would do if he found me again, because I filed charges and he got away with it.
I'm Kim Ogg, asking for your vote.
It sounds like it should be hard to believe. After all, Kim Ogg runs on this get tough on domestic violence stuff.
Domestic violence is the leading cause of homicides in Harris County.
This month, Ogg sent out a campaign letter promising to protect victims of continued domestic violence, and why not? Look at the headlines. Domestic violence calls up dramatically since the coronavirus erupted. Harris County Sheriff's deputies responding to 1,558 calls in just a month.
We have seen a 40% spike in our domestic violence calls, and of those calls, more people are asking for shelter. I worry about the people who aren't calling.
We've done the research. We've seen the numbers. Can victims of family violence really expect real justice from this district attorney?
And for them to tell me that he was getting away with the slap on the wrist, I was terrified.
The case of Ashley Durrett should haunt Kim Ogg. But how we found Ashley may prove even more devastating to this politician's campaign rhetoric. Dolcefino Consulting researched nearly 23,000 criminals who've been given a slap on the wrist by Kim Ogg since she took office. You know how many perpetrators of domestic violence have gotten this get-out-of-jail-free card while Kim Ogg has been the DA? 3,364 of them. There are 590 criminals who've been convicted of aggravated assault of a family member who actually avoided jail time even when they had brandished a weapon. 124 were convicted of continued violence. That means 2 beatings in just 1 year. 561 abusers avoided jail despite a previous conviction for family assaults. Guys like Nathaniel Tad, he got deferred after his second conviction. But hey, he was just a black eye for his girlfriend. He was later charged with the sexual assault of a child. The court records detail some of the weapons police recovered: a baseball bat, a kitchen knife covered in blood, a wooden table leg. We've uncovered horror stories just like Ashley Durrett's. That's how we found her. Gregory Cooper first got convicted of family violence back in 2004, 16 years ago. He was sent to prison. We were tough back then. His second one, 2012, back to jail. But in 2017, Cooper threatened to burn his girlfriend's house down. Just weeks after that conviction, he was charged with assaulting her again. He got convicted. Kim Ogg's office agreed to just defer it. No jail time. Guess what? Cooper assaults again, just 6 months later. If Kim Ogg bothered to do the research we did, she would know these soft-on-crime wrist slaps simply aren't working. Nearly 45% of the criminals broke their word. What a shock.
And I moved to another state where I'm at now still because, of course, what happened, it was, very bad. So
Morgan Ryan is safe now. She fled town after this guy beat her with a 2x4.
And when I came back, he had hit the house like he was hitting the walls with a bat and like breaking up, stuff in the house and stuff like that.
Morgan tried to leave, but she says Cameron Connor kept trying to fight her.
And I called the police, but he broke the phone in the middle of the car. So when the police pulled up, he was like hitting me with like a 2x4. And so they got the car and, drew the guns on him and said, put the thing down and put your hands up or whatever.
Morgan never saw Connor again. He got probation, but violated that and got 60 days in jail. But that was before Kim Ogg became DA. Morgan remembers another woman calling her after she had already moved.
She was asking me about his history because she said she was scared. I just told her to get away from him. He's not a good person.
The champion of crime victims was in charge of protecting abused women when Cameron Connor was charged for beating his second victim, Haley Barnett. He was convicted. Kim Ogg's office agreed to no jail, deferred adjudication. 2 months later, Connor was charged with the unauthorized use of a motor vehicle and threatening to kill Barnett.
Yeah, he threatened to kill me a lot, so I wouldn't put it past him. He could have went back and actually killed the lady, you know what I mean?
We can fill the screen with guys like Cameron Connor. And yes, there are women too. But how does Kim Ogg explain this soft-on-crime pattern on family violence we've now uncovered? Kenneth Daniel spent years in prison for murder. But when he got out, even after a second assault of a family member, he got deferred, no jail from Kim Ogg. He's now sitting in jail awaiting trial for number 3. Is that the price we really put on women like Ashley Durrett now? What would you say to Kim Ogg if you could talk to her right now?
It's not good enough. She's not protecting anybody. At all, not protecting.
It was brave of Ashley to speak to us. Morgan, too. Ashley now has a lifetime protective order to protect her family.
The only person that was able to protect me through all of this was the judge in the family courts. That so that she was sorry that the criminal courts are not protecting us like they should be.
We offered Kim Ogg a chance to come join us and explain this very troubling record, but she failed to respond to our requests. She's got to know. This is deadly serious. Caitlin Guajardo is dead because of it.
You let her abuser walk out and stab her to death.
One of our soft-on-crime judges actually let the guy who beat her out of jail on just a PR bond for $150. It was a death sentence for this young mother.
Oh, they absolutely have blood on their hands. They have my daughter's blood on their hands. Absolutely, without a doubt.